Good morning. How are you? Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm not going on a walk. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. Let's go to the garden instead. I woke up this morning with a desire for cauliflower. And I thought to myself, but they're not ready yet. They're not big enough. And then I realized, who cares? They're my cauliflower. I've got lots of them. I can just cut some now, even if the heads are small. They're maybe half the size you might see in the grocery store, maybe even only a third of the size. But who cares? I'll just cut 2 or 3, as much as I want. So that's what I went outside to do this morning. It was a bit of a disappointment to Bruce to see me and realize we weren't going on a walk right away, but I'll get to that later. Earlier this week, I mentioned to Kim over at Chickenfoot Homestead that she shouldn't be deceived, that I'm actually a lazy gardener. And since I said that, an inner voice keeps playing that statement to me, and I had to analyze, is that a true statement? I certainly feel lazy, but are feelings truth? I wondered while I was working, if I'm lazy, what would I consider a hardworking gardener? What is it that I'm comparing myself to that makes me feel like I'm a lazy gardener? Maybe if I was doing all of the work in the garden all by myself, all the time, 6 to 8 hours a day, 6 days a week, then I would feel like I was a hardworking gardener. What if everything was always pristine, without any tools out of place, or a single weed, or any overgrown section of grass? Then I would know I was a hard-working gardener. But would I even want to garden if that was required of me? Could I even keep up to those standards? I know I am the kind of person that gets things done, but I'm more of a work smarter, not harder kind of person. I'm not the only person that puts effort into this garden. My husband and children also participate. You just don't see them on here. I don't spend 6 days a week and a full-time schedule out in the garden. And you can definitely look around and see I have lots of things out of place, and I have weeds and I have overgrown sections. So it's not perfect. But sometimes I think when we have this ideal in our mind that we can't enjoy what we actually have in the moment because we always feel like we're behind that ideal. I do recognize that I have put in over a decade's worth of man hours, learning how to garden and trying to grow more productively and more food. And so I appreciate that I have those skills. But when someone thinks that my garden looks great, in the back of my mind, I still realize it's not what I would want it to be. I'm not there yet. And so I kind of just throw out the statement that I'm a lazy gardener as a way to say, yeah, but it's not as good as it could be. And you know what? What it is right now is good enough. It doesn't have to be any better. I'm producing lots of healthy food for my family. I'm learning lots of skills. I'm getting lots of health benefits just from working in the garden. And I'm okay that my garden's kind of messy. I'm okay that there's stuff everywhere. And it's okay that I'm not out there all the time. I have lots of other stuff to do with my time. And I appreciate that I am really just a tender of the soil. And I throw some seeds in, or I throw some potato roots in, and God is the one that does all the growing. And then I get the pleasure of the harvest. So when my garden looks great, I really can't even take much credit for it because all I did was put the seeds in the ground and tend the soil a little bit, and God did all the rest. Plus, May is hands down the prettiest time in the garden because all of your crops are healthy and vibrant and green, and the heat and humidity of the summer in Virginia has not yet come to attack your crops. So everything looks really lush in May. The cauliflower is all chopped up and ready to season for breakfast. And now I'm just chopping up the stems that came with the cauliflower and adding them to the bags where I have frozen leftovers from the broccoli and carrots and all the stuff that I can just freeze and save to make a vegetable broth with later. I was an awful picky eater as a child and even a teenager. And I think that since I'm in my mid-40s now, my mother has adjusted to the fact that I eat vegetables and I like them. But I think if she knew now that I eat vegetables with my breakfast, that might just make her head explode. I believe that caring for our health is a lifelong journey, and I can see in my own past that as quickly as I have been able to follow along, that the Lord has led me in different ways to improve my health and take care of this body temple that He created and gave me to live in. The garden has been my best friend and coach in the Department of Health. Not only does it provide me with plenty of vitamin D and fresh air and exercise and helps me sleep better at night because I'm working in the garden, but the food that comes from it is so nourishing and healing to the body. And I took the time to learn the different nutrients our body needs and what they're good for and how they're going to benefit me if I'm actually eating them, especially fresh from the garden. And then I had to come to terms with the fact that I didn't eat vegetables. I mean, the 4 that you might say that I would willingly eat if somebody else made them or, had them somewhere I was eating would be carrots, peas, green beans, and potatoes. And honestly, I really don't even like white potatoes that much, but I do eat them. And growing the garden has actually helped me learn to like new vegetables, because I saw God performing this miracle and growing all this food out of the dirt in my yard, and I realized I'd better start learning to like it. It was 10, maybe 11 years ago now that I actually started making myself dice up tomatoes from my garden and mix them in with my food. I would hide them in different dishes and in burritos where they weren't like the main course, and my taste buds could tell there was something new that I was eating, but I just kept eating it anyway. And after a while, they became one of my favorite garden crops. Other vegetables that I actually grow in my garden that I enjoy eating, or at least I use in recipes now that I didn't before, are peppers, asparagus, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, spinach and kale, all the squashes, broccoli, cauliflower like you saw from this morning. And this year I have a brand new vegetable. Well, if you can consider it a vegetable, it's a root crop. But everyone says it's the best thing out there for you. You really need to eat these. And I've been really resistant for a long time. But this year I ate enough times in a row that I officially am a huge fan of sweet potatoes now. That's right. That crop that we grow a ton of every year because it's a great storage crop and it lasts over a year. I officially like it now and will actually eat it instead of giving it all away and just replanting the crop to grow more again next year. I see the temptation, as I'm thinking about it, to consider myself lazy in my health food journey or in my journey at improving my health via the food that I eat. I mean, plenty of other people choose to eat healthy and eat a wide variety of vegetables, and they didn't have to grow a garden to do that. They could go to the grocery store, they could go to a farmer's market, they could go to their grandma's garden. But I had to spend 10 years growing a garden to learn to like vegetables. They say life is a journey, not a destination, and better late than never. So I'm just going to enjoy where I'm at in my journey right now, and I'm going to enjoy my garden. Maybe I'm not a lazy gardener after all. Maybe I'm a just right for me gardener. Maybe what I'm doing is just right for me in my circumstances, and I ought not be comparing myself to someone else that I think has it going on better for them. Well, there you go, Mom. I'm having vegetables with my breakfast. And I have been doing it for several weeks now. And I like it. I did make it outside a little bit after breakfast and after quite a bit of garden work to go for a walk with Bruce and bring some joy to his heart. I hope you're finding ways to be grateful and to find joy in your day. Let me give you some pets. Yeah, that's a good boy. Hey, Bruce, ready to go for a walk? You ready to go? Let's go for a walk. Here we go. Yep, I'm coming. Let's go, Captain. I'll tell you what, it sure is a lot easier to find joy when you aren't constantly comparing yourself to others or to things you've made up in your own head. Just get out there with God and live your life, and He will lead you at the pace that you can go at, and you won't regret it.